all of their 3 games this year in their 4-3 record on the road. The Eagles, by the way, have lost only 1 game here in the last year and a half. Here's the kickoff. Henry, 3 yards deep in the end zone. He'll spot it down, and the Eagles will go to work from the 20-yard line. Hey, Coach, you look good in that flak vest you've got on there. Hubert Montgomery, very healthy and wanting to go. Hubert Oliver, the rookie out of Arizona at fullback. Harold Carmichael and the veteran Charlie Smith outside. Prepley, the tight end, seldom used lately. Stan Walters, Perot, Guy Morris, Ron Baker, and Jerry Seisen were very steady up front. Here's the first down call for the Eagles. It's a brisk day, and it's a little bit cool with that 7-knot wind. They're shifting Montgomery and Oliver in the backfield. Now Montgomery goes up to the wing position. Against the 34 defense, straight ahead goes Oliver. Wow, and moves it out for 5 yards straight ahead. 34, Bill Kolar at left end. Dave Logan, a very good nose tackle, and Dave Stahl in for Leroy Selman. David Lewis back in the starting job outside. Cecil Johnson inside with Richard Wood, and Hugh Green, the great rookie from Pittsburgh, the right outside. Norris Thomas, Washington, Neil Coles in, Cedric Brown at the safeties. That's a good defense. 2nd down and 5 for the Eagles. High formation. Handoff, ride series to Montgomery, who was really hit and dropped by Lewis, the big inside linebacker. But this is 3rd and close. The coaches love this, and so do the players. Man in motion is Prepley. Tight formation. Inside behind Morris's block. Looks like he might have gotten close. Wilbert Montgomery making
his starting means that they feel he's capable. He's very important in there physically, but I think he's very important emotionally, too, as far as the rest of the squad is concerned, Tom.
Well, Selman was playing that series, so he is able to go, and he's, of course, most valuable lineman from a couple of years ago in '79, a great football player. Maxie Runniger will be in to punt and field out of bounds. You can't depend upon the bounce, you know, off the rug, like you could off perhaps the old grass field.
Yeah, fuzzy cement is very unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen when that ball bounces on the hard
stuff. It's always hard, isn't it?
Yeah, that's considered.
Tampa Bay's phones on the sidelines were not working, and John McKay got a hold of Ma Bell, I guess, and got him fixed. But if Bill Nelson's not up there able to talk down to the coach on the bench, they can't get the plays called for Tampa. I played a back 9 in the rain. Maxie Runniger's first punt.
I don't see the dizzy stick, though. He's not smoking on the sideline.
4th and a foot. The Eagles fail to get the first. Here's the kick. It's a fair kick away from Theo Bell. Will go out of bounds at about the 42, and good field position for Tampa Bay. Runniger not too happy with that one. Teams will watch that today. The offense, Doug Williams, only has 4 interceptions and has only been sacked 7 times. Eckwood, and of course there's Jimmy Giles, Revis, Snell, Wilson, Roberts, and Charlie Hanna. The first time the offensive line has been together in one unit the whole season.
And they're in a double tight end offense, which means they're going to try to stick it at him, and they don't do a very good job on the very first play of the game.
Eckwood going off the right side. The man out of Arkansas. And here's the defense, and they're really good against the run. Denny Harrison, Charlie Johnson, the All-Pro at nose tackle, and Carl Hairston, who should be All-Pro, playing right in. The linebackers, Wilkes and Robinson outside with Big Al Chesley in for Berge in the middle there with Frank LeMaster. The inside guys are the leading tacklers. Roynell Young and Edwards at the corners, Randy Logan and Bernard Wilson at free safety. It's 2nd and call it 9. High formation. The 2 tight end. Here's the inside man. That's James Wilder, the rookie fullback. A flag down.
And they like Wilder very much, the young rookie from the University of Missouri. He's caught 23 passes coming into this game. Great receiver, but a very fine runner, too.
Group, first time you open up a team with, Henry.
Yeah, you know, and the amazing thing about it was, though, they lost a lot of games.
Holding, number 50, offense, 2nd down.
Steve Wilson working against Charlie Johnson.
You know, they lost a lot of games early in the history of their franchise, but they played everybody very tough. They had a lot better team than people thought they really did.
2nd down and 19. High formation. 2 tight ends still in there. Here's the drive play to Eckwood. Eckwood gets a little hole, and Minnis drilled at the 35-yard line. Looked like Chesley came up from the linebacking spot. Washington with Humphrey in there, and Harrison and Clark. Jones is to the top. And this is a shotgun. They call it buckshot down in Tampa. A lot of pressure. A good throw for Giles. Giles has it. And it's finally driven down at the 30-yard line. The big man. The linebackers blitzed that time on 3rd and long, and a great throw by the young quarterback, Williams.
Boy, he put it right on the money. He was in a slot formation to the right. There you see Wilkes blitzing on the play. He gets the ball right over the top. Beautifully thrown ball. Good reception by Jimmy Giles. But he's going to be murdered here this afternoon because he's got great skill and ability. He's like a loose tackle as far as size is concerned, but he's got great hands, excellent speed, and there was a great illustration of it on the last play.
A 29-yarder, and with throws like that, he is even more because he's 6'4", 245. A big first down on a 3rd down pass play by Williams. Here's the eye. The toss back to Eckwood running left. He gets one good block on the outside. It's run out to 25. Frank Lemaster making the tackle. A good-looking football team. It's 2nd and 3 on the Eagle 24. The Bucs got them going. Here's the inside drive. Wilder. Oh, he's hit and dropped. Got close to the marker, but was really straightened up there. Charlie Johnson, the nose tackle. And short yardage. The first big crucial play of this very important game for both teams. It's a double tight end with a wing back to the left side running. Eckwood gets over the first down into about the 19-yard line. The young man out of Arkansas, a number 3 draft, who was hurt for a while.
A playoff team, as everybody knows, last year.
Kevin House is flanked to the right side. A 1st and 10 for the Bucs on the Eagle 19. Straight drop back, a little play action pass, being safe, and now throws it to Wilder, his fullback. He breaks one tackle, another tackle, and spins down to the 10-yard line. Herm Edwards finally making the tackle. That was a safety valve, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And a great thing about Doug Williams, we had talked about it a little earlier, a play-action pass, but he's got great ability to get out of the pocket, smell trouble. He should have been tackled, but he throws the ball, falling away, and hits the receiver, Wilder, who stretches a gain out of a sure loss. Great ability on the part of Doug Williams.
Doug Williams has only been sacked, as we said, 7 times. He moves in the pocket, he throws it on the run, and he's not afraid to load it up. It's 2nd down and short on the 10-yard line. And I mean short. A little misdirection play, fullback, Wilder over the right side, stopped by Ronell Young and Bernard Wilson.
Unusual play. It was a counter play. It looked like football as well as they'd like to be able to play it, and that's a problem once they get behind, which was an indication of what happened to them last week against Minnesota.
1st and goal from the 8. We got a slot left. The toss to the weak side is Wilder, the rookie fullback, inside the 5 to about the 3. Lemaster finally dragging him down.
In 73, Charlie Hanna, the right tackle for the Bay Buccaneers.
I correct myself. The Eagles have allowed 1 first-quarter touchdown so far this year. Right now it's 2nd and 4. 2nd and goal, if you would. Strong right formation. Eckwood behind the block of Wilder. Gets outside. He's going to get close. And the flags are flying down to the goal line. James Owens getting a good block on the outside. That was James Owens carrying the ball. Not Eckwood. Might have been a face mask. They caught him right about the flag.
Yeah, I think he did. Here we see the young running back, James Owens, number 26. He's got excellent speed. Going to the outside. He tried to get inside, but felt the pressure of number 65, Charlie Johnson. Wisely went to the outside. There you'll see the face mask coming in. It's a good shot there by Bob Fishman.
Automatic first down.
Ronell Young with number 43 grabs the face mask. Automatic first down. Goal to go from the 1. Eckwood and Wilder in the game. High formation. Williams takes it over on the sneak, and the hands go up. The 6'4 quarterback scores the touchdown. And the Bucs took that ball after the punt, the short punt by Runniger, and really stuck it down the Eagles' throat.
You know, and the amazing thing about it was they got off the ball in good shape that time on the quarterback sneak. But the amazing thing, the personality of the Tampa Bay Buccaneer offense was run more north and south, where they run right at the defense rather than sideways. They set it up going straight ahead. Then they got in close and went outside a little bit. But it's just the opposite of what they did in 79 when they beat them so convincingly with the ground game. Everything was geared to the outside attack.
That was Williams' 3rd touchdown of the year. And And Capice is kicking now. The holder, of course, is Swider, the punter. And the ball for 3 offensive plays. Plays 59 yards, and Tampa Bay draws first blood. And I mean tough. Here's Capice's kickoff from the 35. A good deep kick. The goal line is Wally Henry. Henry straight up the middle. Gets out over the 20. Breaks over the 25 in his tackle. Let's go to Brent Musburger in New York now. And here is the second offensive set now for the Eagles. They're on about the 26-yard line, call it. Single back is Oliver, the fullback. Jaworski long trolley. Straight drop back, intercepted by Washington. Washington comes up with an interception and gets inside the Eagle 25 as Jaworski threw in the triple coverage.
Boy, did Washington ever anticipate the play. They like to use that play, faking inside and then hitting Carmichael on what we call a slant pass. The anticipation of the play was just beautiful. Washington played it all the way, got a good jump on the ball. No chance whatsoever to make the play on the part of the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have great field position at this stage of the game.
A big game in the Central Division. First and 10 on the 24. The crowd now is yelling deacon. Doug Williams. Little misdirection. Back to Wilder. He gets outside his tackle there. Good play by Reggie Wilkes, number 51.
9 minutes and 11 seconds. The 79, they had it for 9:25.
That's a lot of time. Second down and 9. A slot left. And straight back. Doug Williams. The blitz is on. Williams unloads it and almost completes the grab. There are no flags down. He was trying to hit James Owens, the sprinter down there. Remember that Owens was a world-class sprinter. The Montreal Olympic Games was like 6th in the high hurdle, so he can run just a bit.
Yeah, the great thing about, some track men are very fast, but they're not very quick. He's got the great combination of quickness and speed, and that's what you're looking for. So
good acquisition. A came from San Francisco early in the year. All right, third down and 9. The buckshot formation. Doug Williams now 2 of 3.
We might say something here to Giles again. The middle looks like it's open.
Unloading for Owen. Closely covered. And Jerry Robinson was right there. Now Capice will probably come on. A little stunt up front by the Eagle defense state. The Premium was here earlier and dropped that for Chicago loss. Larry Swider, the punter, is holding. This will be about a 41-yard field goal attempt. And one block late against Oakland. It's off to the left. Eagle D, that's what they call it. Finally, the people are up and they're yelling. And the offense comes on the field. The ball on the 23. And Jaworski looks tight, Coach.
Yeah, he does looks a little stiff, but he'll get better, I'm sure, as he goes along in the contest.
The toss to Wilbert Montgomery. Wilbert breaks loose, breaks a couple of tackles, gets out to the 36. Richard Woods, a big linebacker, having to make that tackle.
That's very unusual.
I asked him at practice, and he said, "Why'd you want to know that?" I said, "You're a tough little dude. Look at those numbers on his career rushing mark." Oliver falling down on the wet, artificial surface. Charlie Smith in the game now. Carmichael to the top. There's a drive play to Wilbert Montgomery. A big hole. And Wilbert carries a tackle to the 44-yard line. Leroy Selman.
And they've got to be concerned about that.
There's McKay going into his golf bag. Third down and 3. Going to run the football. It's Wilbert Montgomery making a great cut at the line of scrimmage. Got pretty close to the 45. And Leroy Selman stopped him abruptly.
But I think he made the yardage, though, Tom. It was a good effort on his part. It's interesting. It's right.
A first down run for Wilbert Montgomery.
He's going to throw some play-action passes on 1st and 10 here. Got a little conservative on 1st and 10, I think, Tom.
Here's the play action that you call, Coach. Going to the outside of Charlie Smith. He's got it. Down at the 38-yard line. Morris Thomas fell down on the wet turf. A good out call. A good move by Charlie Homeboy Smith.
Yeah, that's the thing that Jaworski does so well. Play action pass complements the run. Throws that with a lot of confidence, a lot of poise, good protection. He throws over the top, outside to Charlie Smith, who makes the reception. First down for the Philadelphia Eagles. Good execution, Thomas.
And they threw the ball on first down, which you said was a good idea. First and 10 now on the 38. Eagles moving. They trail 7-0. Wilbert Montgomery up to the wingback spot. Straight drop back by Jaworski. He's being chased. Screen pass. And Leroy Selman sacks him on the 48. Trying to set up a screen to the outside right.
Stan Waller's trying to block Selman that time. Did not do much with him. Selman, once he gets a start, gets a good push off the line of scrimmage. Boy, he is murdered. 12-yard loss on the play.
Jaworski now has been sacked. That's the 10th sack for Jaworski this year.
Watch Selman go around the block of 75. Stan Wallers makes the tackle. 12-yard loss for the Philadelphia Eagles.
I was shocked that Selman is down to 246 pounds or something. That's what John McKay told us yesterday.
Yeah, but you know, he's so quick. And along with that, he's fast, which is a great combination that you want at defensive end.
Second down and 22. Inside handoff. Montgomery hit and wrapped up as Big Dave Logan, the nose tackle, made sure. What kind of a call is that on second and 22, Coach?
Well, that's it. You know, they're thinking they're going to get a strong pass rush, and they run a trap play with the hope they can break it clean. They didn't in that particular situation, and David Logan, 76, really did a good job of stuffing the blood.
A good defensive club, but as we have said before, in that 79 playoff game, they muscled the Eagles. They really physically muscle them, and very few teams have done that since Dick Vermeil has come to town. The nickel defense is in for Tampa Bay. The shotgun. Jaworski gets the high step, dumps it out to Wilbert Montgomery. Being chased by Kolar, cuts inside, and finally tackled by Scott Brantley. Let's go to Brett Muskie, can perhaps lose to Green Bay at home. Right now they've got a problem with the Eagles. This is Runiger back for his second punt. That'll end the first quarter, and 9 minutes of it, as the coach told you, was in that touchdown drive by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They'll change in. Quarters left. Tampa Bay 7, Philadelphia zip. All the way to the Super Bowl. You don't do that if you're not a good QB. Runiger now will be kicking from his side of the 40-yard line. Theo Bell back at the 10. They have faked this in the past, but it's pretty early for that when you're trailing 7-0. They'll punt it. Runiger holds on and gets a bad kick off the side of his foot. Two very, very average punts. As Hugh Green that time put some...
It's always the case. Every time you brag about a kicker, that's what happens.
Tampa has the ball, and they are on fire. A melody in orange. The Tampa Bay colors. That is, of course, John McKay, the only coach that's ever been there. Took over out of USC.
He looks kind of cute in that little costume, doesn't he?
Weighing 2 for 4 for 42 yards. And scored the touchdown himself. First and 10 on the 27. Straight on outside. A little hitch by House in front of Roynell Young, and the ball is fumbled out of bounds. That's just to get the cornerback's attention.
Yes, it does, and it's Doug Williams throws it outside to Kevin House, makes the catch as he's tackled. The ball is stripped loose, but it bounces out of bounds. Still Tampa Bay Buccaneer possession.
But Lord, do not go up and play the short out on him very often. That's what Vermeil's got to warn the young man, Roynell Young.
That's right. All he has to do is take a little sniff of that short one, and all of a sudden he's chasing cleats.
Eckwood out of the eye, getting tossed, running the sweep to the right. Roynell Young making the stop.
Satisfied to move the chains, get first downs, and both teams really have a little bit the same personality in that respect.
Short yardage offense. He did not make the first down. 3rd and inches.
And they're on left, it looks like. Oop.
Doug Williams puts 210 pounds to the right side. That'll be a close measurement. Henry, did you ever have a quarterback that was big enough and strong enough to take the quarterback sneak for touchdowns and first downs and that stuff?
No, only in the pregame warm-up they were able to do that. Not a live situation. Size and strength.
Doug has a consecutive streak going. The only quarterback with a better one in the NFC is Ron Jaworski. And it is a first down. And Tampa Bay keeps that ball. Washington, Tampa's had the ball a lot of this football game. 14:23 left in the second period. Here's the play action pass. Williams getting a lot of time, dumps it off, and Edwards can't handle it. Closely covered there by Chesley.
Had him covered on the play and did a good job talking about Riddy Herman Edwards.
It's second down and 10. Williams, with nobody behind him, now moves Eckwood back as the lone back that might get the handoff. Looks like a pass, and it is. Keeps the back in, dumps it over the middle. Catch by Giles, tackled pretty closely there by Reggie Wilkes. Boy, you have to make good tackles on the big fella. He weighs 245. Let's go to Brett Musburger. Right here on the Eagle bench.
Yeah, he's right here today, isn't he, this afternoon?
He'd like to be playing. Third down and 4. Straight drop back. Williams finds it, turning inside. That's House, Kevin House, coming in, curling in to 45 and has the catch.
You know, that time he ran an option. He ran a quick screen.
34. The Bucs look like they want the football game. High formation. Great drop back out of a little play action. And being rushed, gets away from it. Now he's going to run with it. Doug Williams can run. And gets out of bounds right in front of the Eagle bench at the 40-yard line.
That time, I think that time they anticipated the zone coverage. They got man for man that time, Tom. And there was a little pressure from the right side. He was able to get rid of it. The pressure I'm talking about, and still come up with making a few yards on the play. Here we see it back in the pocket.
Charlie Johnson.
Yeah. Charlie Johnson making the contact, but Doug Williams has enough poise and ability. Runs to the outside. And is finally knocked out of bounds by Jerry Robinson.
Picked up 3 yards. We got a slot left now on second down 7. House and Gordon Jones are the bottom of your screen. Williams back to throw again. Oh, slip and fall. Throws it, completes the pass anywhere at the 40-yard line. Looks like roller derby.
Yeah, that's right.
And he still completed it and still had the guts to throw it.
There you see him going back and trying to get settled. You don't see what happens, but evidently there's a wet spot there, and in the process of setting up, he slid, but still got rid of the football to Wilder, number 32.
Only 4 interceptions against Doug Williams, so he doesn't throw it around needlessly. He's just very careful in a strange way. The buckshot formation on third down and 6. Eagles got the 4-man rush in. And in motion coming across, that's Kevin House, and Williams is going to run. Now he throws and overthrows Giles, standing all by himself at the 17-yard line.
Did you see Doug Williams' reaction that play? That time Giles wound up being a split end. Giles wound up being a split end. Watch, he goes to the outside and nobody covers him. He looks like he ran right out of the tunnel. Nobody saw him. Finally they did, but he threw the ball way over the top and it falls incomplete.
Boy, but they like to have that one back. Giles couldn't even get on the step ladder, as big and as strong as he is, and get that one.
You need a pogo stick for that one.
Larry Swider, a good young kicker, used to be with Detroit. Wally Henry waits. Swider will try to get it inside that 20-yard line. He's had 5 inside now and only 28 kicks. He's angling it. Henry's going to take it at the 7-yard line, and it's dropped by number 26, James Owens, on good coverage by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 7 total yards a game. They have 50 now. Total yards with 11:38 left in the second quarter.
You know, one thing in all fairness to Philadelphia, they really have not had good field position. They started on the 20, the 21, the 23, now the 8. So they haven't had really much chance to move the football.
Will they try to throw on first down this deep?
Yeah, I think this is a great time to throw the ball on 1st and 10.
The handoff to Oliver, who breaks out over the left side inside of Leroy Selman. Logan making the stop from the nose tackle. It's second down and call it 4. A short 4. Carmichael and Smith to the bottom of the screen. Here's the ride play with Wilbur Montgomery, who roars almost to the 20-yard line. I don't know how you can have that kind of a long score for New England, and the extra point was missed. It's now 12-7. There are the numbers on Wilbert Montgomery. He gets better as the game goes on. First down. The play action pass by Jaworski. Going for Harold Belmont. Carmichael has it to the 40-yard line. And they think there's a fumble, and now Kyle. Morris Thomas making the tackle. Fumble. And Tampa Bay does get the fumble. Another turnover.
A nice-looking play-action fake. Montgomery faking good inside. Jaworski throws it right up on top like he should. But in the process, the ball is knocked loose and falls to the turf and is recovered by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then from the outside in and tackles the ball, and as a result, as he's falling to the turf, the ball falls with him.
Great opportunity for Tampa Bay. The toss back to Eckwood out of the eye. Eckwood moves almost to the 30-yard line. The flags are falling. Boy, he got to the hole in a hurry. The point of attack.
Yes, I tell you, Eckwood's really a fine running back. He gets better and better. I haven't seen him play since preseason, but he's an excellent running back, and I don't think gets the recognition that he really deserves.
Holding called against Tampa Bay. And John McKay wants to know who did it and why. Giles was caught for holding the big tight end. It's first down in a bunch. Call it 20 right at midfield. I formation, straight back. Good drop. No pressure. A completed pass across the middle. It's Gordon Jones making the catch. Down to the 31-yard line. Man-to-man coverage.
And all they're doing... Giles is running a pattern, releasing inside, but the ball is thrown to Gordon Jones, who runs a curl pattern inside. Ball's right on the money, but basically they're thrown away from the strong safety, Randy Logan, number 41.
Giles almost took his linebacker in there, but didn't pull it up very smartly, didn't he? Second down and 2. The toss back to Eckwood behind Wilder's block. Eckwood's got the first and more. Finally out of bounds at the 24-yard line. LeMaster and Chesley. And that Wilder's leading him in pretty good shape.
Yes, and what's happening, too, here's another score.
His old opponent from SC, John McKay, now with Tampa Bay. Inside handoff, Wilder, the rookie. Gets stopped, makes a couple of 3 yards there. Dennis Harrison, Bigfoot Harrison, making the tackle. It looks like that Wilson and Charlie Johnson are having some battle on the line of scrimmage, like a corkscrew. It's second down and 7. Straight drop back. Outside, the catch by Obradovich, and there's a flag on the play. A good quick drop by the quarterback. That time they might have had too good a pocket.
Yeah, it's really hard to get to Doug because he gets back there so quick.
Offsides, Tampa Bay. Williams wants to know who. Give us name, rank, and serial number.
You know, the great thing about Doug Williams, he looks a lot like, as he goes back in the pocket, he's got the high split. It reminds you an awful lot, really, of Joe Namath, the way he gets back into the pocket.
Offense.
It's not a bad comparison.
Oh, really and truly. You just watch him get back and set up. He's got the high split and gets back there so quickly that it's hard to believe.
He doesn't throw the interceptions. A big break for the Eagles. It's second down and 12 now.
Look at all the room on the outside receivers.
Going to take advantage of it. Williams straight back. Giles going deep. Now he's going for... and the ball is spiked. A linebacker or a lineman got his hand up. LeMaster may have spiked that ball.
That time they were in a zone defense, and they played the zone very, very well. It's a little bit quicker. I don't know who he was keying that time. He sets up nicely. Good protection. Look at the protection. Inside. He looks and then tries to throw the ball inside. The linebacker read his eyes very well. Got back to the position and deflected the ball.
Chesley got his hand up, and he stands 6'4", 240. Linebackers can be tall and still carry the weight. It's very valuable. It's third down and 12. The Eagles have not had the football hardly at all. Buckshot formation. Williams going to the outside, and Wilder can't get it. Richard Blackmore making sure. Williams is now 7 for 13 for 84 yards.
That time the Eagles used a stunting defense where lineman left footer
was let go after the Chicago Bears lost. This young man has got a pretty good leg guard.
I would be very concerned if I was McKay with a good field position and not come away with any more points than they have. Another miss. Boy, that's tough.
The sidewinder left it off to the right. He hooked one earlier and missed it left. And the Eagles defense. Gets off the field and breathes once again.
That's right.
1st and 10 now. The Eagles with only 16 offensive plays with 8:19 left in the second period. Man in motion is Charlie Smith. Jaworski going to Smith now on the screen. The slip screen right. Gets some yardage. And Kolar, the defensive end, helps Lewis make the tackle. Man in motion screen. Big call, though. Man in motion screen. It's 2nd down and 3. High formation.
Look at all the room on the left side in front of the defensive backs, Tom.
Carmichael's got 12 yards before he hits the corner man. It's the drive left with Montgomery gets in the hole. Knocked down. And maybe hurt. Neil Colsey made the stop. But out to the 42-yard line. And Wilbert is
all the way across the right side. Gets the cavity. And a good shot. A good tackle there by number 20, Neil Colsey, or else he might have changed the scoreboard.
Boy, what a block by Guy Morris, the offensive center. He drove Logan right off the line of scrimmage.
That's exactly what he did.
Cleveland, 14-0 now. Sykes to Pruitt. Browns have got the offense and defense going. Here it is now on 1st and 10. Quick pass to Wilbert Montgomery to 45. And he is being rudely shoved back by David Lewis.
You know, that time they had all receivers on the line of scrimmage, and it's a good formation because you get into the zones and the seams.
Vermeil has run 33 already. High formation, misdirection. Montgomery dances through, good tackle at about the 46-yard line by Dave Logan.
You know, that's one thing I think is very important with the 4-3. They run away from that middle linebacker, and it's a lot of trouble.
That makes some sense, Coach. 3rd down and 6, shotgun for Jaworski. He's only 5 yards back. Good snap, straight drop, big pressure. Leroy Selman comes over, and Jaworski throws on the run, and Wilbert Montgomery just can't hang on. A lot of traffic around Wilbert, but he had a chance to catch it.
Leroy Selman is down. They really got a shot on him. Kohler rushing from the outside, and look at the block they got on Leroy Selman. Boy, it was a terrific shot.
And Selman is being helped off the field. He was knocked completely over teacups, as they say, and he is being helped off. He's been playing with bad hamstrings now for about 3.5 or 4 weeks.
Watch the block. You'll see him fly through the air here. Watch him. Here he comes right now. Look at that block. No, he doesn't get... It looks like he ran over one of his own people.
Kolar had already gone by.
Yeah.
Kolar's the one that put him up in the upper deck.
And it's really no surprise because they're very, very capable. They play very well defensively, and of course they have the firepower offensively to put a lot of points on the scoreboard. As I mentioned, I hate to keep talking about it, but John's got to be concerned about the fact that he didn't take advantage of those 2 great field positions.
You remember those the entire game, don't you?
Oh, especially if you lose.
Max Runiger now with a man in motion on the punt. Gets off the kick now. That's a good one. This is a 4-7 hang time. Theo Bell back to the 6-yard line. Gets away from a couple of people. And number 52 makes the stop. A 46-yard punt. Ray Phillips up to the 15-yard line.
The plan of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is very good in that they're using good discretion. They're running away from Randy Logan and doing a good job of it.
Is that a crazy barometer right there? It's hard to believe, isn't it?
It really is hard to believe. I thought it was
to the left. Evan House. House comes out to the left, and Gordon Jones, a slot left. Williams straight back to throw, deep in his own territory. A little pressure, dumps it to Wilder, the fullback. Just nailed at the 17 by LeMaster. And Reggie Welch.
The linebacker was blitzing that time. Sorry, Tom. 56 blitzing that time. Jerry Robinson. Oh, he surely can.
3rd down and 5. The buckshot formation. And Williams can really throw out of it. He's going deep down the right sideline. And intercepted by Ronell Young, I believe. Would let it be known.
Watch the stun inside with 71. Ken Clark. And Brown stunning inside. The ball is thrown over the top and intercepted there by Ronell Young. The timing and the execution of the jump was excellent.
Ronell Young, his third interception, and suddenly the Eagles have something to cheer about. St. Louis over Minnesota. 3:29 left in the second quarter. Here's the toss to Wilbert Montgomery. The flag is down. Wilbert breaks out and almost is 20-yard line, but the flag is down.
They went on a quick count that time, Tom, and I don't know whether they didn't set for a second or not, but it might have been that they got off a little bit too quickly on the play, and for that reason the play's going to go call back. A 20-yard gain, a good-looking play by Montgomery, sweeping to the outside.
Wow.
That's what it was. They didn't get set for 1,001, evidently.
The old quick count. Remember some of the great teams I used to play against, it seemed like they were snapping before they even came down and lined up.
Yeah, the quarterback. That's right. The quarterback used to back out of it. Boy, he was on his way. He didn't figure out. You couldn't understand how he got the ball.
First and 15.
Look at all the room in front of those defensive backs.
The Bucs are awfully deep. Jaworski now on first and 15. The fake to Montgomery. And outside to Oliver, the fullback.
Yeah, either way, you had to have time to throw the ball and get the ball in front of the defensive backers. They faked to Montgomery. Now he's cruising and looking for somebody to block. Look at it. He gets a good block on Norris Thomas, and watch him double over and fall to the ground on the play.
Helmet to helmet. It looked like Norris got under him a little bit, and of course the defensive back
does. And Montgomery, the last play was a great example of what a great
touchdown with Williams quarterback sneaking, and the Eagles are trying to get even before halftime. 2:47 left.
Look at that left side.
Secondary playing awfully deep in front of Charlie Smith. Zamona gets his first down. Zamona inside the 25-yard line. Hugh Green making the tackle. Zamona picks up 7. Paul inside. Oliver. 16-yard line. Cecil Johnson making, and the Eagles have not gotten on that scoreboard.
Looks like something left.
It is a weak toss to Zamona. Presley gets one block, but a good tackle. Good tackle by Hugh Green, the #1 draft for Tampa Bay. Up over the top and a solid hit.
And Green really is really going to be a great linebacker, number 53, who played his collegiate football at Pittsburgh. That was a great acquisition on the part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here they're running to the left side. And a good block out in front.
Oh, that's a tackle.
Boy, was that a good block. And can't tell who it was.
Presley got the block, I think, and then Hugh Green just finished off. Jamon Field, a good pass receiver. It's second down and 9 on the 16. The fake to Canfield. Gives a Canfield. He's dragged down from behind by Cecil with Diesel Johnson. Another timeout. Leroy Selman is back in the lineup at right defensive end. It's a third down and 9 on the 16. 1:41 left. And a shotgun for Jaworski. He's got time, and he finds Billy Canfield inside the 10. Canfield hit by Hugh Green, but he makes the catch. The clock is still running. 1:27. Let's go to Brent Musburger in New York. 2 timeouts have been burned. Oliver, the rookie, getting some instruction. Now Canfield is a little bit mixed up. Will they get it off in time? 9 seconds left. Jaworski throws. Touchdown to Presley.
Boy, how he got that ball through there, I don't know. It looked like he had a radar hooked up to that one.
Jaworski can throw some handles. The boy
died. You don't see that, but Presley looking for the ball as soon as he got the release. Man-for-man coverage. Licks Neil Colsey on the pattern. Beautiful looking throw by Ron Jaworski, number 7, to Presley, number 84. Great looking play.
And the action of the day, the field goal kicker from Texas Aggies. Here's the kick. The extra point is good. The game is tied. Turnovers have been the difference. The interception by Roynell Young set up this touchdown drive of Philadelphia. There's Brett Franklin, coach. I guess you just kick it into the end zone and make them go 80 yards to get on the board?
Yes, either that or try to kick a knuckleball and make them try to feel the ball as they run with it as it's coming on the turf. That's another good way, especially on synthetic turf. We'll see what he does here. He might just try to pump it down there.
7 plays, 42 yards. And Jaworski's 10th touchdown pass of the year. Here's Franklin. He's been kicking it. A good hang time. That's James Owens. And he'll take it and put it down in the end zone. And Tampa Bay has 57 seconds to strike back. The schedule next week, gun formation for Doug Williams. A big pass rushing line, 4 down linemen for Philadelphia. And the nickel defense. Big pressure put on by Carl Hairston.
Carl Hairston really got good penetration that time. Got in there and got Doug Williams. It doesn't happen very often. There you see a good picture of him.
Boy, he just took the outside for Revis and went.
And Dave Revis that time was trying to block him, but he didn't do a good job, and he licked Revis on the play, number 75.
Hairston is one of those guys at halftime. Went at a rolling manhole cover. Buckshot formation, 52 seconds left on 2nd and 10. Inside handoff, double reverse. Here comes Kevin House. House is going to be run out of bounds, short of the 30-yard line.
Boy, Bernard Wilson, number 22, he really recovered well and got a good angle, came over to make the play. It was a good-looking play. Watch this now. There you see Kevin House coming around on the reverse, going down the left sideline with the ball in the wrong arm, but he runs out of bounds.
You used to do that with Otis Taylor once in a while, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Otis was great at that. And he wore the same number, number 89.
Tampa Bay with 3 timeouts and 45 seconds in the buckshot. Boy, the Eagles are in as much of a rubber band defense as you can be in. Good snap, straight drop, good protection, completed pass to the 35. That's Eckwood coming out of the backfield. Well, I should say coming out of the shotgun. You like the deeper stance by the
problem as far as war games with regard to kicking teams.
That really ages you as a coach, doesn't it?
Oh, it really, really gets you upset. Gets you a little nervous, too.
1st and 10 on the 35. 2 timeouts remaining for Tampa Bay. It's a screen out of the buckshot, and Wilder balances it. He dropped it. They may call it a reception. No, incomplete pass. He carried it for a while. And there's a flag back where the quarterback has been knocked down by Carl Hairston, I believe, to Claude Humphrey. The big pass rush, and this big kid at 6'4" stands right in there.
And watch Hairston, number 78, Revis, is still trying to block him and hasn't done it yet. And here comes Humphrey. Looks like somebody opened the window for him. He jumped right through there that time, didn't he?
He looked like one of his horses coming out of his corral gate down there in Tennessee.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 87, defense, 1st down.
Claude Humphrey, and one of the most penalized teams in the league, NFC. Here's the shotgun now, and they're getting into our near Eagle territory, 1st and 10. Williams, the flag is down. He throws it on the run and finds Giles at the 35. What a target, and what a throw. The flag was thrown very early.
Charlie Hanna, a little push and shove contest between Hanna and Humphrey, number 87 and 73. It looks like one of those boys will be boys situations out there that time on the last play.
Claude was the master of the head slap. When they outlawed it, you know, he almost retired.
That's right. He did retire for a year and then decided to come back.
Poster number 84, offense, 1st down.
That's Gordon Jones making a little move. 1st and 15. Ball on the 45, and there are 22 seconds left. 7-7 tie. Good snap, good blocking, and a good pass. Oh, Kevin House gets away. No, now Herm Edwards is going to pin him to the sideline. House trying to get out of bounds at about the 33, and it looks like he does.
Herman Edwards grabbed his arm. His sleeve length is going to be about 2 or 3 inches longer for the next time he tries to buy a shirt.
Make sure that tackle on the sidelines with Kevin House. This guy just makes a whispering sound on the artificial turf. The turnout, the catch.
And he really kind of ran a big circle route. Wasn't a square out pattern at all. Herman Edwards is trying to tear the shirt off. And maybe his arm
is left and then called Capice in. The young man has missed 2 field goals. He's got to get it around the 40, doesn't he? Or around the 30 then on the field.
Well, he's going to try to get it as close as he possibly can. If he misses any more of these today, then it might be a little traveling music for him when he gets back to Tampa.
Mike Nelm with a punt return of 75 for the Skins. Here's the buckshot formation. You can see the clock going deep for Kevin House. Knocked away by Herman Edwards. Herman Edwards, as cool as a Western gunfighter. Oh, knocked it away.
The ball had it been thrown just a fraction sooner that time, Tom, it had been 6 points. But Edwards really did a good job. In spite of that, I thought it was going to be a touchdown, but he did a remarkable job of recovering and knocking the ball down on the play. Here's the field goal.
What a free agent. I saw him play Monday night. When they played Atlanta, he made some of the greatest plays I've ever seen.
Yeah, look at Kevin House had him licked. He was way behind, and the ball was thrown just a little bit too short.
All right, Capice will try it from the 39. It's a 49-yard field goal. Swider's the holder. Here's the kick. It is wide to the left and low. And time has run out. And the place is going crazy. Boy, that's the number 3 draft 3 years ago, who will kick off to start the second half. A 7-7 tie. There, of course, is James Owens, the great sprinter. A 7-7 tie. Turnovers perhaps the key, but good defense played by both ball clubs. A lot of helmet splitting. There's Franklin from the 35. A low kick toward the corner away from Owens. And they will have to kick it again, this time from the 30-yard line.
You know, Tom, a very interesting stat in the first half. Philadelphia had the ball on 1st and 10 situations on 15 occasions and made 4 yards or more 10 times, which is a very impressive 66%. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, however, had the ball on a 1st and 10 situation on 17 times and have only hit 4 yards or more 6 times out of 17 for 35%.
Stats and certainly on the scoreboard.
Really, the thing that happened in the first half is that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should have had, because of the good field position, could have had 21 points or at least 13. Philadelphia had just 1 chance to get points, and they took advantage of it, and that's why the score is 7-7.
Here's the kick from the deeper position. A tough, bouncy kick. It's a live ball if it doesn't go over the end line, and they hustle back to fall on it. Owens forgot that that's like a grenade with the pin pulled out. Tony Davis finally falling on it, as the little man from Big Springs got the ball into the end left that can run the football.
And they start with a double tight end offense again. And see if they run left away from. No, they're going to run right probably.
It is. It's a run right with Eckwood. Good play. It gets away from Reggie Wilkes and spins down to almost the 40-yard line. Eckwood kept the legs moving, bounced in, got straightened up, and Robinson finally knocked him out of bounds.
That time they had House on the right side, which meant that Logan would be on the right side. Then they sent him in motion to the other side, which meant they were going to run away from Logan. They did, and it was a big play on the off-tackle play by Jerry Eckwood for 21 yards.
A great way to start a half when you're all tied up. The second half. Forget the first one now and go to work. I formation now. 2 tight ends again.
See if they run left, if they run.
Well, it's a misdirection inside. Eckwood gets away from a tackler and gets to the 45, and the flag is down. The flag was thrown in there. Carl Harrison made the tackle, and Charlie Johnson, the no tackle, missed him early.
I mentioned it earlier, but I think Tampa came into
probably the best thing I did when I played defense, but it is against the rules. Somebody for Philadelphia tripped.
You might have done that several times, Tommy, but you were a great defensive back. So I saw you play. I remember.
Charlie Johnson is the one accused of tripping. Intercom, but here it is, right here.
Yes. 1.
Yeah, there it is.
2.
That's
1.
tripping, all right. I'd recognize that anywhere. 1st and 10 on the 45. The toss back to Eckwood, and being manhandled by Dennis Harrison and let loose. And Warnell Young finishes off the tackle.
There's a good example of what we just got through talking about, Tom. That time Logan, they ran to Logan's side. Logan came up and forced the play beautifully, and for that reason, they made no yardage on the play.
Bigfoot Harrison plays the left defensive end spot at 280 with that good 6'4" frame. A real quick count. Williams going across the middle and bounces off, almost intercepted. Intended for Gordon Jones.
That ball bounced like it did that time, Tom, because it hit his shoulder pad, shade off, and was almost intercepted. Here you see Doug going back into the pocket. Protection is good. Watch him whistle the ball, a little bit behind, but it hits, you see, it hits his shoulder pads as he tries to bring it in and bounces right out of there.
Chesley thought he made the interception, but the linebackers are born thinking they're making interceptions. It's 3rd down and 15. The ball is pretty close to the 50, and we're in the shotgun formation. Early in the 3rd period. House comes back inside, coming across. A lot of pressure and intercepted almost out of bounds. Claude Humphrey put the pressure on, and Bernard Wilson thought he had a chance to intercept it.
That was the second time they used that formation. They put Kevin House on the out. Giles then ran that outside pattern that he did earlier where he was wide open. This time they had it covered in good shape. He stumbled and fell as he would try to get downfield, and the ball was thrown way out of bounds, incomplete.
Was he wasting that? Was Williams just throwing that away, maybe?
Yeah, he was trying to hit McKay on the sideline, I think.
Okay, Swider standing on his 35. Wally Henry waiting. Oh, this is a tremendous hang time. Wally Henry with a fake fair catch, and the Eagles will come out to the 20-yard line. There's a flag on the play. Something happened after the fact as Wally Henry put the fake up and then tried to make a block to make sure the ball went on in. It's an unsportsmanlike. Looks like he said the guy was hanging by his thumbs. Not sure that's called. This is where it's
very confusing. You don't know what they call. We'll find out here in a minute. And a penalty, obviously, against Philadelphia.
Claude Humphrey, number 87, and our reading lips here. 3rd. Walk, and he was caught for it. A 1st and 10. A good time to be careful as a quarterback, Coach. The quarterback has to be a little careful, doesn't he?
With this field position like it is, Tom, but I think as he moves up the field, he's got to throw the ball, and they do have to be more explosive and more imaginative on 1st and 10.
Wilbert Montgomery is back in the game, number 31 for the Eagles. The toss goes back to Wilbert. Montgomery gets out over the 20-yard line, and bodies are flying. Richard Wood making the tackle. Wilbert Montgomery has come out of the dressing room. He had a sprained shoulder, and you can't keep a horse once you get him to the track from running. Ruler, 3rd and less than 1. 12-10 left in the 3rd period, a 7 all time. Booker Russell is in as a tight end. It's a short yardage offense. Straight ahead. Booker Russell. The new fullback, and the offensive running back core is depleted for the Eagles. In the tandem. And Montgomery, the lone remaining back. On 1st and 10, the ball in the 25. A little room now for Jaworski. And he's moving people around. The toss back to Wilbert. Inside of Kohler, gets away from Kohler and scrambles out over the 30-yard line to the 32. Colsey coming up from the safety spot to tackle him.
Bill Kohler, that time, number 77, got a little bit too much penetration and didn't get the right angle, and for that reason,
tough. He keeps going all the time.
And I think the great backs have the great capacity to stretch those short gains and the long ones, and that's what he does.
54 yards on 10 carries. In the eye on 2nd down and 4. Here's the drive by Montgomery, who crosses over the 40-yard line. What a hell of a player Wilbert Montgomery is. David Lewis jacks him up.
Watch his eyes. Watch him read the defense. Number 90 goes beyond the play. 56 goes beyond the play, cuts behind both of them. And finally, Neil Colsey and Cedric Brown, 20 and 34 respectively, make the tackle.
Remember when Wilbert went to Jackson State as a freshman, there were 2 guys starting named Walter Payton and Ricky Young, so he decided to go west to Texas to play football. Not a bad product. First and 10 now on the 41. Wilbert Montgomery gets a big hole, breaks out, cuts back, and wow, it's knocked over just inside Tampa territory by Hugh Green. And Green is standing over Wilbert, and Wilbert gets up.
Mark Slater's in there left guard this time. Watch Montgomery get the ball. There's a good surge straight ahead, and Slater, number 61, is involved in making a good block, as does the offensive center, Guy Morris, number 50, and also the left tackle, Stan Walden.
Montgomery, oh, what a hit by Green. Montgomery was saying yesterday that at the flanker spot, it's not as noisy as it is when he's back in the running back position.
Yeah, he wants to get split out with
Washington. Seesawing back and forth over New England now 17-15. There's a first down call just inside Tampa territory. Billy Canfield's in the game. That's Oliver, the rookie. Hugh Green making the tackle, but a good pickup. Was everybody keen Wilbert that time, or Canfield?
Yeah, I think so. And of course, they give these lined up so close to the line of scrimmage, and that's what they did on the last play.
A good offensive call now on second short. Prepley in motion. Here's the drive. Billy Canfield gets the first down and also takes a big shot. A 7-all tie, 8:21 left in the third period. Guess who's coming back?
Brad White, number 90, is playing football. You might see a play-action pass here, Tom.
First down call. The coach is right. Jaworski back to looking left side. Overthrows Charlie Smith, opening at 21. Posey in pursuit. FB and UCLA. Second down and 10.
Look at all the room on the outside here.
Here's another play-action pass. He's got time. Jaworski overthrows Harold Carmichael.
Boy, it's hard to throw the ball over the top of Carmichael, but he did on 2 occasions, and that time he hurried himself a little bit, I think, Tom. Threw off his back foot, didn't shift his weight, didn't follow through, and that's why the ball went over the top.
And he has such velocity, sometimes when Ron gets pumped up, he can throw it through a wall anyway.
And he's got such a great arm that sometimes you feel you don't have to use your legs and follow through like you should, and it gets you in trouble.
It's now third down and 10. 7:36 left. Still a tie game. Shotgun formation. Morris is the snapper. It's a good snap. Jaworski's quick drop. Going at Norris Thomas had a pretty good lead on it, trying for Rodney Parker.
You know, that time it was very obvious that Jaworski made up his mind he was going to throw to Parker, looked at him all the way, drew a lot of attention over there, and the ball was almost in his
Talked to him yesterday about whether he liked the foot to have a shoe on it or not. He told you pretty plainly he liked it this way.
Yes, and it was a good discussion, but he said that he never used a shoe before. When he started kicking, he used one and wasn't very effective.
55 yards, it's no good. It's a quail job. It dives and rolls into the end zone. Somebody might have gotten a piece of it. Selman was close.
I think somebody got a piece of that ball the way it took off.
A big effort, and did get just enough to take the sting off a 55-yard field goal attempt, and of course back to the line of scrimmage and pretty good field position on the 37 at the first down. The Bucs in a regular pro set. Back to throw, straight drop back. Going for his fullback. Fullback catches the ball. LeMaster makes the tackle, but Wilder made the catch, circling out of the backfield. Doug Williams got knocked down. Boy, he stands in there and squeezes it off at the last second.
You know, that time Blackmore.
And Williams is back up on his feet, and he ain't going anywhere. He's going to fill the air. 7:09 left in the third. It's all knotted. A lot of people in rain gear. In fact, it looks like a northeaster up in New England. It's a little tough for the quarterbacks. And it's second down and 2 on the 45. Going back is Wilder, who gets the ball straight ahead. They stop, but keeps going. Second effort. Might have gotten the first down. Good run by the rookie. LeMaster making the tackle.
Logan, 41, is back in the game now. They had him out of there with Blackmore playing the position. Now they have him back in there.
The Eagles have not lost at Vet Stadium but one game in a year and a half, and Tampa has lost all 3 of their games on the road this year. They're playing the heck out of the Eagles on foreign AstroTurf today.
Yes, they are, and really and truly, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do not especially like to play on synthetic turf as well as they do grass.
Good point. First and 10 on the 48. 6:08 left. This is James Owens going off the left side. Skids into Eagle territory. Carl Harrison, who was just injured, got back. Tampa looks like they've got a little rhythm going. I formation, fake draw. No pressure put on Williams. He's going to run it over the 40 and slides to about the 37.
He slid that time just in time. Harrison was coming from the inside out and had a blind shot. He had good anticipation that time, had a feel for pressure, and slid at the perfect time. Watch him. He steps up into the pocket, runs, and watch 78 coming in hot pursuit, and right about the time he's going to give him a little shot, he slides underneath.
Carl Harrison played it pretty nice, though. He jumped over him, you know it. There was a good chance he could have really hurt the quarterback. St. Louis on top of Minnesota, 13-10 in the first period.
We might see something right here if they run.
It's to the weak side, the toss. Back to James Owens. Owens wrapped up by number 27 and put away. That's Richard Blackmore, who's in there for Logan. Logan's hurt, huh? Not much contained so far by the Eagle defense. But he is dynamite, number 89. Second down and 9. Good time and knocked away. Well played by Herman Edwards, the cornerback. Trying for Theo Bell coming across the middle.
Well, that ball was thrown again just a little bit behind that time, it looked like, Tom. But in spite of that, here you see Doug going back into the pocket. Look at the pass protection. Boy, it's excellent. He steps up in there beautifully, and the ball is a little bit behind, and it provides the defensive back, Herman Edwards, with a chance to get the right hand in and knock the ball loose. Watch it again. Theo Bell. Edwards following in hot pursuit. There's the ball behind. Had it been thrown out just a little bit, it would have been a reception.
Defensive backs have to look for one flaw on a pass play like that, or they go home early. It's third down and 9. Big third down play. That's buckshot time. A good snap. Got time going to the outside, and the receiver falls down. Theo Bell falls down in the left flat, and it is drizzling, and the ball must be a little bit slimy too.
Holding number 61, offense declined, 4th down.
Big Greg Roberts, the offensive right guard.
Watch Roberts, number 61, blocking to the inside, and he's got his left arm, and for that reason they call holding on the play. Good shot.
Bigfoot Harrison was the fellow he was trying to wrestle with. We told you he weighs 280. Here's Larry Slider now, the punter, standing right at midfield, trying for the corner. He doesn't get all of it, but it might turn out to be a good kick. No. Officials are trying to get it lined up. Windage and all. Everybody's having trouble, and no points yet in the second half.
He's saying, repeat after me, Hail Mary, full of grace. Having a little prayer meeting.
How about the last punt? He should have tried for the left side.
Yeah, I think so. I think you always should try to go away from the short side, because if you kick the ball badly, it slides off your foot, it goes right down the middle. If you kick it right and it slides off the foot, you got a bad kick.
Well, you've been a hell of a coach, you know it. First and 10 on the 18. You've only been in 2 Super Bowls, for God's sake. Here's the toss. Back to Wilbert Montgomery. He's got a good block outside. And Wilbert caroms out to the 29-yard line. Mike Washington finally making the tackle.
Trouble. You have to get penetration. You cannot get hooked. He got hooked on the play, and for that reason, they were able to run outside for a big gain on the play.
First and 10 out on the 29. Breathing room Jaworski, who was high in some of his attempts in the third period. Montgomery now 85 yards on 13 carries. Carmichael and Charlie Smith. A toss back to Wilbert, running left, weak side. Wilbert dances through, and Hugh Green grabs him and collars him.
Boy, Neil Cosley really got penetration, came up quick.
They're just good defense. Second down, and call it 6 or 5. On the 33. Handoff to Wilbert, who looked like he had a moment of indecision. Oliver, the fullback.
Yeah, Oliver, that time, there was a good illustration of the difference between Montgomery and Oliver.
46 left in the third period. It's been scoreless since halftime. It's 7-all. Canfield, Montgomery, shotgun time. Good snap by Morris. A little pressure, but red and off the fingertip of Harold Carmichael. Of Wilbert Montgomery. Let's go to New York, Chargers and the Eagles, huh?
Yeah, and I think they feel that any time they're close to the fourth quarter, they're going to somehow, some way win the game, and that's what they've done.
Runniger kicking, Theo Bell waiting for it. The kicker's having problem with that greasy ball. He holds it a long time, waits for coverage, gets off a good kick. Angling for the Tampa side of the field, and tackled immediately. I believe it was JoJo Heath inside the 20. And Theo Bell barely got to make the catch before contact. A 40-yard punt. Absolutely no return.
And more last year in the playoffs.
Could you use Hugh Green playing some defense for you a little bit, maybe?
You could use him under the boards.
First and 10. Good luck to you, Billy. You're a great person.
Yeah, good to see you, Bill.
I'll tell Jimmy Moran handoff out to the 34. That was Jerry Eckwood.
And I'll tell Jimmy Moran that you said hello.
I hope so.
Everybody comes to watch professional football. The round ballers, the small round ballers, games are bouncing.
I wonder how the weather is up there with where Billy is compared to where it is where we are, huh?
Handoff, Eckwood getting the call to about the 39 before Bigfoot Harrison makes the stop. 33 seconds left in the third. No score here. Let's go to
Back, and I'm sure he's going to express that ability and skill with the New York Giants.
That goes. The third period is now history, as they say. No score. Tampa Bay came out with a hot series back with the start of the fourth quarter. After this word, the Eagles are 6-1 and lost last week. And the Bucs, of course, lost that nail-biter to Oakland. Fourth period of play, 7-all tie. First and 10 on the 39. Williams back to throw, gets some time across the middle. Giles is wide open at the 40. Bernard Wilson makes the tackle.
See, the great thing, I think Tampa has done a good job of throwing more on first and 10, and that time they throw a play-action fake. Watch the good pass protection. They hit Giles right in the middle area. He's got all the time in the world to throw, follow through. Look at his right foot was off the ground in the follow-through process. Beautiful play by Doug Williams to Jimmy Giles.
A 22-yarder, and as you said, Giles has the speed, so McKay knows he can get a little deeper than a lot of tight ends.
And you better have a tight end who can go deep the way teams are playing defensively in today's football.
Here's the toss, back to Wilder, the rookie. He's dragged down from behind by Bigfoot Harrison. A super play by the defensive left end. In that third quarter, Tampa Bay only had 8 yards passing. So to come out winging in the fourth period, looks like we may have a real barn burner. Reggie Wilkes in those pads on and build up a head of steam.
And the one thing that people fail to realize, you know, they just say it's the 8th game of the season, but really it's the 12th game of the season, and it's beyond the college season, and so there's a lot of injuries about this time of the year.
Williams on a second down and 12.
Look at that right side.
Williams straight drop back. He's got time. Intercepted by Chesley. Al Chesley comes back into Tampa Bay territory. Still on his feet. It goes to the 35-yard line. The linebacker is tackled by James Wilder. But what a time for the big guy to come through.
That's one of the few times we've seen him force the ball that time. Jerry Robinson got a good drop. A very good drop. He's got enough time to throw the ball. But anytime you see a quarterback, he tried to force the ball to Jimmy Giles. But anytime you see a quarterback do a little tap dance before he throws the ball, Tom, you know that he's a little undecided. and not sure where he's going to throw the ball. That time, that's exactly what happened. He threw it right into a crack.
A 35-yard return to the interception by Chesley. Eagles got something going. Left out of Wisconsin a year ago, the big left guard. He doesn't look seriously injured, and that's good news. And the Eagles, after the interception, have a golden chance. First and 10 on the Tampa 35. Oliver's in there at fullback, and the tailback is Wilbert Montgomery. The handoff, Wilbert Montgomery stacked up, and then cuts off left side, still picks up 3 yards. Logan making the stop from nose tackle. I'd like to acknowledge a fellow that for 28 years has been the public address system voice here in Philadelphia, Matty Gukas Sr. He's in the hospital over at the University of Pennsylvania, missing his first Eagle game in 28 years. And his son, Matty Jr., the great NBA basketball player, is filling in for him today. And we hope Matty Sr. gets up and gets back into action.
Yeah, we sure hope so.
Second down and 6 on the 31. Inside, the rookie, Oliver, going up and over, and not much.
The linebackers are blitzing a little bit, and that they're going to force him to kind of stop the run to try to make him throw the football.
That's a Wayne Morris 13-yard run. Cardinals are playing like gangbusters for Hamilton, too. Montgomery in there. There's a fumble snap. Jaworski takes it. The crowd's not going to like this. Would you have thrown any of those plays, or the ball getting a little bit too early to risk it down this close?
I couldn't tell you. It's hard to tell what happened on the last play. Sometimes a quarterback tries to get out of there quicker than he should, and the exchange between a quarterback and the center winds up being a bad mesh. It looked like it was going to be a reverse pivot, and sometimes that happens if you don't get your head around quick enough.
Franklin now has kicked some big ones. He's kicked a 59-yarder. You might recall beating Dallas. This one will be held by Johnny Shara on the 34, a 44-yard field goal attempt. It's a high snap. A lot of leg in it. Oh, man. Dead, solid, perfect. Franklin put the Eagles in front, and they trailed in the opening moments of the ball game. A 10-7 lead. I don't know if he needs a shoe or not. They've tied up that game 17-all in Atlanta in the 4th period. Here we have Tony Franklin kicking off after his 44-yard field goal has put the Eagles in front. It'll be James Owens, a real sprinter waiting for the ball. Trying to kick it away. Good-looking kick. It'll come out to the 20. No run back. If somebody inadvertently thought that I said Wilbert Montgomery went to Jackson State, I meant that. He did for about a week, and then went out of the dorm at night and transferred as a freshman to Abilene Christian College.
He was kidnapped, I think, wasn't he?
Kidnapped by the coach at Abilene Christian. 11-18 in the 4th period. It is drizzly and raining a little bit harder now in Philadelphia. Eckwood moves up.
Double tight, double wing, meaning you got 2 tight ends and 2 receivers on the outside.
Great drop back. Spiked and knocked away by Dennis Harrison. Bigfoot at 6'8½", spiked it.
Boy, he's big, and he got good penetration that time. It looks like the field tilts a little bit when he's on one side of the
for a bunch.
Yeah, so they've got Gordon Jones in there, too, and the tight end. They're very capable. They're dangerous anytime they have possession.
Second down there. The fake draw, a little rush. Gives it to Eckwood, who he faked to. And Eckwood is hit hard by number 51, which is Reggie Wilkes back in the action. Looks like almost enough for the first down. Let's see where they spot it. The Giants have gone on top. Johnny Perkins has taken a Sims pass from 12 yards out. The Giants are beginning to make some noise. Washington 24-22 over New England. That's Sam Cunningham with a 4-yard run. Third down and 1. Get your helmets on for this one. Eckwood up and over, makes it easily and gets the 35 and fumbles the ball. Looks like Tampa's got it. Wilder, the rookie, came up with it. That ball has to be getting greasy. A lot of strange things that have happened since it started raining.
Yeah, Eckwood that time really a great effort, really a great surge on the left side. Good blocking at the point of attack. He gets a good block and cuts back behind the block of the offensive center, Steve Wilson. The ball is popped loose, but Wilder, 32, makes the play. There we see it again. And he slashed in there tough, and the ball bounced out as he hit the turf.
Good move. 9:50 left. The margin is 3. The Bucs are behind on first down. Play action. Dumps it over the middle. And there's do they call it a completion or an incomplete? They're going to call it incomplete pass. No fumble. Trying for Eckwood. Big Jerry Robinson, the #1 draft out of UCLA, caused the...
Tom, it would be very effective. Look at the back. He'd go through there. Linebackers are running out of there. If they just give it to that back with the fake of a play action, boy, he'd run for a long way.
It really opens up when those linebackers fail out to their pass defense.
Yeah, they just turn and run.
Second down, 10. A lot of time for Doug Williams. Doug Williams underthrows. Gordon Jones coming across the middle. They're wiping off the ball, aren't they? Isn't that a clean ball every play?
Yeah, look at Gordon Jones going down and then breaking behind the linebackers. He's open, but the ball is thrown a little bit too low. Edwards is covering from the outside in. Man for man, number 46 on 84.
Jones is going over now, talking to Boyd Dowler, the receivers coach, who's done such a great job for John McKay down there. Williams is 3 for 10 in the second half. Shotgun time on 3rd and 10. The place is going crazy now. A lot of time, Williams hits Giles, who had just gotten away from Bernard Wilson and turned around and caught it.
Giles made a good move that time. He's trying to sell the defensive back that he was going to go deep. Watch him here. He's coming off the line of scrimmage. You see him make that little move, and then he stops and gives him a little push. That's very effective, too, if the official doesn't see it.
Bernard, being from Vanderbilt and very intelligent, got up and thought he'd been pushed, but the officials missed it. Giles with a very clever move. 1st and 10 on the 48. Official is going to call a timeout. One of the guys with the marker is still back on the 20-yard line. He must be frozen over there. It's raining in Philadelphia with 9:02 left. A 10-7 Eagle lead. The Tampa's got a first down in Eagle territory. Good handoff. Wilder being hit by Carl Harrison. No gain. Maybe a yard.
They're trying to fool him a little bit, I think. There's a passing formation with double tight, double flankers, only one back in the backfield. Try to create the impression they might throw the ball, but instead they try to run and didn't succeed in doing anything unsuccessful on the play.
Kenny Clark comes in, so the Eagles are looking for pass and will have 4 down linemen. And they will come stunning and twisting.
They haven't run a draw play yet. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. As much as they've thrown the football, Tom.
Straight drop back. A deep drop by Williams. He's being rushed by Harrison, and he throws it. It's called no good. A jumping catch.
Well, who caught it?
Theo Bell. They're going to call it good.
They called it good. Theo Bell.
Boy, what a catch.
He first said it was no good and changed his mind, said it was good.
Well, it's good that an official has the presence of mind to at least look at it and think about it.
Yeah, you have to give him a lot of credit for making that decision. Look at it. He threw the ball just in time. It floats up there pretty high. But watch this. He makes a leaping catch.
He had them both down. If he had control of it, it was a good catch. Herm Edwards right there. A great catch by Theo Bell, who couldn't get enough money in Pittsburgh. And looks like he may get a raise come 1982.
Yeah, it looks like they might open the cash register for him here.
First down and 10. A great throw by Williams. Ball's on the 21. Straight, quick out to Kevin House. He's gotten away from one tackler. Gornell missed him, and he gets to the 10-yard line. We've got one going here. Let's go to New York and Brett Musburger and see what's going on elsewhere.
And Brookie, they got one going. Boy, he's got quick feet, happy feet.
Makes the defensive back miss him just walking around. The Giants are winning. The Eagles are leading. But right now, that score is in jeopardy. 8:09 left in the fourth. Inside handoff to James Owens. Owens is thrown back. Darnell Young came up quickly from the secondary. And Reggie Wilkes and Dennis Harrison underneath.
You know, Owens has excellent speed, which is very obvious, but he doesn't run with the same authority, I don't think, that Jerry Eckwood does. Eckwood really slams it in there a lot tougher, I think. Probably Owens will run extremely well outside, especially if he's got some running room. But Eckwood really sticks it in a lot tougher than that.
And Ricky Bell broke his shoulder in one play in the Chicago game because Ricky Bell used to be able to stick it in, too. Look for anything time on defense. Second down and 10. 7:30 on the clock. And in motion is Owens. Straight drop back. Cool. Knocked away by Ronell Young, intended for Kevin House.
Boy, Ronell Young did a good job that time. I don't know where he came from. It looked like he had him, but Ronell Young made a leaping attempt and got a piece of the ball and knocks it down. Here you see Doug Williams stepping up into the pocket nicely, throwing inside, and a beautiful play by Ronell Young, number 31.
What a drive on the throw and on the reception. Almost and here it is. Third down 11, and the rain is coming down harder. The nickel defense is in, even though they're close. The ball's on the 11. It's shotguns.
Look at the middle. Look at the middle. Inside, something inside in that middle area.
House tried to get back outside, and Ronell Young thought he should have had the interception.
Boy, you have to give them a lot. What a great effort on the part of the Philadelphia Eagles defensively. That time there was a lot more room in the middle area than there was outside. Safety blitz. Shira, number 21, blitzing on the play. And a beautiful play by Ronell Young. That's two of them in a row.
And he got one chop and a little bit of holding and got away with it. And you know, a DB has to take them where they fall. Williams is mad. And now Capice will attempt to not to score again. Philly is going to kick from the 19, a 29-yard field goal. He's 0 for 3 today. Slider holds it. Boy, that one's solid. He got a tie game. A 29-yard field goal. Capice gets the handshakes. The Eagles will get the ball. 7:08 left. 10-0 time. With Hank Stram, and the numbers are obvious. It's close and it's raining, and Capice will kick off from the 35. Wally Henry waiting. It's not a good kick, but it might be tough to handle. It's a squibby. Picked up by Booker Russell, the fullback, as Booker fights out over the 30-yard line. Next week, a 10-all tie. Are we thinking overtime? Are we going to win it? The toss to Wilbert Montgomery, running wide out of the eye. Breaks out over the 40, knocking people around. Hugh Green's in there. Leroy Selman's in there. And Montgomery's in there.
David Lewis that time was really blocked well by the tight end. And for that reason, the back was able to pop through there. Montgomery we're talking about. And he popped through there for a nice gain on the play. Good running on the part of Montgomery.
Off track like this, what did you used to do with the players to try to get an advantage when it's raining like this?
Well, you know, several years ago what we did, we put the rain very hard in a game we played against Rice when I was at SMU. We put thumbtacks on the quarterback's hand, Charlie Arnold, and wrapped them with natural colored tape, and then cut them off at the tips, and just a little nub was sticking out, and it was amazing what great grip he got on the ball, and he was very, very effective.
Play pass after that second run. Charlie Smith down the sideline, being cornered and knocked out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Number 34, Cedric Brown, finally made the tackle. Second down and a foot. Jaworski strikes.
Boy, what a big play. Here's Jaworski on a play-action fake. He goes out and then back up the field. You don't see it. He's wide open. And it's hard to tell who was responsible. Looked like it might have been Norris Thomas, or maybe it was a zone. And the strong safety, Colsey, did not come over and pick up on the play. And it looked like maybe that Colsey slipped and fell on the play.
And real good pass run action on that, and a great time to call it. The Eagles knock them down, a 10-all tie with 5:58 left. Ball's on the 14. Ooh, good tackle on defense. Wilbert up into there by big David Lewis.
Boy, David Lewis came up and got penetration. That's the way to stop the outside play. He got the penetration and stopped him for a loss on the play. And really what happened was, I think it was a blitz.
They don't blitz much. The Buccaneers are about 11% blitzing team, but maybe deep in their own territory, they might come with some, Henry.
Yes, they keep you off balance, and they keep you guessing, and you don't know when it's going to come, and that time it came at a very timely time.
Montgomery had gone over 100 yards rushing, but he lost 4 that time, so about 98 and perhaps holding. It is raining harder. It is a 10-all tie, 5:16 left. It's a second down and 15 call. A straight drive to Wilbert Montgomery, straight ahead, inside the 15. Richard Wood making the tackle.
Boy, there was a good surge that time by the offensive line, the right side of the offensive line. Jerry Sizemore getting a good block at the offensive right tackle.
Large third down and 10. Third down and 10 deep in Tampa territory. Montgomery and Booker Russell, the new fullback. Both teams are hurting a little bit. Cleveland 35-28 over Baltimore in the fourth.
They like to run wide against this formation. Here they come.
Here it is. The running pass by Montgomery, decides to run it, and it's knocked out of bounds. Cecil Johnson making a heck of a tackle.
That time that was an option pass. He was running with the idea of throwing a football to Kreppley, but they responded well defensively. He decided to take off and run, and couldn't get the ball downfield.
Now, what about a wet foot that is not covered with a shoe? It's got to be, he'll keep it covered. He's going to cover it, I guess. Here's an injury as Booker Russell comes off, the fullback. Lewis is also limping a little bit. Looks like Franklin is getting ready to tee it up. They're not going to wait much longer. Johnny Shara is holding. From the 22, it'll be a 32-yard field goal. A high snap. Oh, he put a lot of foot into it. Good as gold. The Eagles take advantage. Get it down there. A great second and short yardage pass. Jaworski to Charlie Smith.
And a lot of ways to come back and win the game and to get back into this contest. It's a long, long way from being over with 4 minutes and 18 seconds left in this clock.
People being dressed into service now. Rornell Young is going to go down covering from the 35. It's not a long kick, and it's a high kick. James Owens takes it at the 10, and he is fast. Get him early. Owens being wrapped up and piled on around the 25-yard line. Blackmore made first contact. And Greg Brown. Tony not too happy with that last kickoff, but I think he'll take that field goal.
Yes, he's got to be very happy with that. And really and truly, when you get the ball down in this area, they brought it back to about the 25-yard line. He's kicking the ball all afternoon to the left corner, and he's doing a very good job of keeping it in that corner. Evidently, that's what the plan was going into the game.
Bum Phillips 7-0 early. 27-10, St. Louis beating the Vikings in the fourth quarter. 4:05 left on the clock. Williams with a lot of time. Dumps it off to Eckwood. Eckwood covers the ball. Goes right to Randy Logan, recovers. Williams is downhearted, going back to pick up the towel. There's Logan, and LeMaster calls the fumble.
Watch Doug Williams back in the pocket. A lot of time to throw. He throws underneath. Hits Eckwood. There you see him get hit. The ball pops loose. Watch Randy Logan, 41, and he recovers the fumble. Great field position for Philadelphia.
And the veteran Logan just happened to be there. Now on offense on the 32, Jaworski with 3:58 on the clock. Wilbert Montgomery, wide right, breaks inside the 25, inside the 20-yard line. Cedric Brown finally makes the tackle, and Mike Washington couldn't handle him.
Boy, did he fly around there. Boy, what a great runner he is. That time he saw the seam, took advantage of it. Look at the hole. Look at him run right down the numbers, and his finally tackle there by number 34, Cedric Brown.
Got up holding his left arm a little bit. He's well over 100 yards now. We'll have unofficially what that is. Billy Canfield is in, along with Oliver, the rookie. They're in the eye. 3:16 left. Montgomery with 114 yards rushing. Oliver, nowhere. Logan making the stop. The Eagles are on top by 3. Let's go to Britt Musburger in New York.
Rookie, they're about to turn out the lights on the Minnesota Vikings 5-game winning streak. Jim Hart just hit Mel Gray for a score, the 200th career touchdown for Hart, 27-10. Now let's go back to you in Philly.
Jimmy Hart is loading it up and still throwing it extremely well. Jim Hart, still the great quarterback for St. Louis. Right now, Jaworski with 2:37 wants to eat that clock alive. Long counting, down to the night toss. Back to Canfield. Canfield gets outside. And it fumbles the football. It's called Eagles direction at the 15. Norris Thomas making a good tackle from the corner spot.
They've run that play to the slot side several times. Slot meaning they have 2 outside receivers on that right side, tight end on the left side. They normally run to the tight end side. They're changing the tendency, running to the slot side, and they've done a pretty good job of it so far in this contest. Oliver, number 34, does a good job of blocking on the play.
Boy, the young man from Arizona will hit people. A week into training camp, Vermeil said he knew the kid could make it because the veterans started giving the kid a nickname. And it meant it was going to be around for a while.
Yes, that's right. And he's proven that he's going to be a very valuable addition to this team.
2:11 left.
Happy to have Maurice Spencer up here in the box with us, too. He did such a great job for us with New Orleans as a defensive back and helping us with this game.
He sure does help us. And Bill Trio, my stat man, is right on top of it. 2:11 left. Cutback by Canfield. Little delay, and Logan buries it. Wilbert Montgomery comes back on the field. The 2-minute warning. Tampa Bay with the fumble turnover and the rain's coming down. And the Eagles have a 3-point lead. It's been tough. The 2-minute warning is over. It's 4th and a foot. The ball's on the 11. Booker Russell is in there. The big fullback gets the fumble. It's picked up by Norris Thomas, number 41. And Carmichael, with some help from Jaworski, throwing out at the 5.
Boy, can you believe that? He popped through there as clean as a whistle, too, and then fumbled the football. The ball is recovered by Norris Thomas, and it knocks. Look at that straight ahead surge. It didn't look like he had good possession of the ball on the exchange. It looked like it was a little bit low, Tom. And for that reason, he fumbled the ball, perhaps. And Norris Thomas, 41, comes up with the fumble recovery.
Of course, Booker's only been here for 2 weeks in Philadelphia. He's been running tight end and fullback and might be a little bit hesitant just thinking about all of it. A crucial fumble and a great recovery by Norris. Norris Thomas. The shotgun formation. The ball is on the 7-yard line. He's in the end zone. Williams going. It's deflected and knocked away. Intended for Theo Bell. Looks like the Eagles came with the blitz. You can blitz the shotgun.
Yes, but you have to be careful if you wind up blitzing and have total man-for-man coverage. The way this kid throws the ball, and especially deep, you're vulnerable to the one-on-one situation, and he gets a step on you, talking about Kevin House or Jimmy Giles, and it could be the bye-bye Blues.
Bye-bye Blues. Cleveland laying it on Baltimore, 42-28. And here we've got a 13-10 nail-biter. 2nd down 10. Back in the end zone again is Doug Williams. Williams across the intercepted. Intercepted by number 27. That's Richard Blackmore. Blackmore inside the 5. That's a nail.
They had 5 defensive backs in the game that time. Blackmore was a 5th defensive back. Tried to throw the ball inside. The anticipation on the part of Blackmore was really excellent. Got a good jump on the ball. 4-man rush by the Philadelphia Eagles. Doug Williams throws, steps up inside. No chance at all on the reception.
Blackmore's first interception of the year and the 3rd interception by the Eagles today. door to us, Fred Rooney, the defensive backfield coach, is suddenly all smiles. I haven't seen him smile in about 2 hours.
Yeah, he's lit up like a Christmas tree over there, isn't he?
1:38 left. Double tight end formation. The toss to Wilbert Montgomery. Wilbert runs through 2 tackles, gets to the 2, and Hugh Green knocks him out of bounds. Turnovers, 4-3. Of course, the last couple, in the rain and all, doomed Tampa Bay today. These teams are pretty evenly matched. There's not much between them.
No, really and truly, and they have the same philosophies, same personality. Really, the difference in the game is the fact they didn't take advantage of the 2 field position early in the game. One time on a 24, one time on a 40, and that really turns out to be the difference in the game.
Those scores, other action around the league, some stunners, and a tough game here. Nothing too fancy, just football. Handoff. You know who? Up and over. Touchdown for Wilbert Montgomery. You think this crowd isn't going to give him some kind of an ovation? Vermeil ought to carry him off the field.
Watch him leap over the top and get the ball over the goal line, and all you have to do is touch that plane, and he did more than that time. He goes into the end zone for the touchdown. Good blocking on the right side. The offensive line with Jerry Sizemore, Ron Kramer, Guy Morris also doing a good job on the play.
Montgomery with 119 yards and the touchdown on 22 carries. He's going to move up a little bit in the rushing stats. A lot in everybody's estimation. We all know how good he is, but how tough is he? He's tough. It's good. Eagles using the blitzkrieg they used on the Redskins when they scored so many points late.
He's on his right, and of course,
he left. And suddenly a 10-point deficit. Mr. Culverhouse, Hugh Culverhouse, the owner of the Tampa Bay Bucks, is here with his lovely wife, Joy, and I know it won't be a happy plane back to Tampa Bay.
And I tell you one thing, if you wanted to have an owner, he'd be the kind of a guy you'd like to have coming back after a loss like this. He's one of the very best in the business.
He'll talk to every member of this team personally and shake their hand and look them in the eye. There's nothing nicer than that. Tony Franklin to kick off from the 35. He's getting some work and he loves it. A short kick. Going to be handled by the left winger who breaks out. Johnny Holt, the rookie from Texas A&I, brings it out to midfield and almost broke it. Don't forget next week, start time out, but they need 10 points.
Tampa's got 3 wide receivers in the game here.
Big rush by Humphrey. A screen pass that did not develop. And Williams threw it into the bench. You know, the day they passed the helmet around for the Eagles Fly for Leukemia. They've been doing this since 1973 when Freddie Hill got into the program to beat cancer among young people. And they turned over a check today passing the helmet around. Not bad.
Oh, you really have to be impressed with that.
The Eagles love it. They're part of this city. They're a very big part of this city. Second down 10. Shotgun time. Midfield. Big heat. Good pass. Kevin House coming across the middle. Inside the 40-yard line.
And Philadelphia is using a prevent defense. 5 defensive backs. 4 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers.
Mark is still on the field. 12 men on the field. It's a free one for the quarterback. And Kevin House catches it. He'll be able to take the throw this time. 12 men on the field. Will the play go, or will the play be called dead for 12 men?
No, they'll have the option. They'll have the option, I'm sure, and they'll take the possession where they got the ball. I'm sure that's what will happen on the play. Playing a little Canadian football that time.
Boy, I like Doug Williams. Is he poised and cool and checking with the officials? He is the complete quarterback.
Yeah.
Coming out of Grambling College, Doug Williams. It's a 1st and 10 on the 24. 48 seconds left. Good time. and a good throw, and it's just short. Intended for Theo Bell in the left corner.
I tell you have to be impressed with the way both coaches have handled their teams. Dick Vermeil has done a super coaching job here with the Philadelphia Eagles and his coaching staff. And, of course, John McKay, the same thing is true with his coaching staff with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both of them are, from what I understand, Vermeil works harder than anybody I've ever seen in the coaching business.
A lot of free agents, and he plays some awfully good football. Intended for number 84 and knocked away. Gordon Jones, defended by Herm Edwards.
And the other thing about you talking about coaching staff, Dick Vermeil's got the largest coaching staff in the National Football League, and I think in the history of the National Football League. He's got 11 coaches on his staff, doesn't he?
11 assistants. He makes 12. The flags are down. A great defensive play by Herm Edwards. Someday Herm Edwards is going to end up in the Pro Bowl game. He is a very, very excellent right cornerback. It started raining in the third period, and it's become pretty steady.
The important thing is you continue to try, regardless of what the situation is.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. First down.
And that's what they're doing here. Both teams have tried as hard as they possibly could. Great emotional level, intensity level, enthusiasm here this afternoon on the part of both teams. Look at something inside here now, Tom. Look at all the room inside. Pump and run.
The Eagles were offside. Looks like number 98, Brown, may have stepped offside. How did Roynell catch that ball? Like a spinning top, and he came out with it.
Yes, he did.
The Giants, and yet Revis must have drawn Brown offside. It's encroachment against the opposite team. Dave Revis. Imagine this team, after only 4 years, ended up in the championship game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in '79. The first expansion team. Here's a throw, but knocked away from Giles at the last minute.
Giles did a pretty good job of pushing off again that time. You see Wilson squeaking a little bit on the play, but in spite of that, why the ball was incomplete. And I tell you that Giles is big and strong. You know, as I mentioned earlier, he's like a loose tackle playing tight end, and he can bump you around pretty good.
Bernard Wilson, a free agent that plays so well at that free safety spot for the Eagles. These teams have met before. Tampa Bay won in that playoff game, and the Eagles beat them in 1977. 32 seconds left. Looks like some heat. Going back against the grain all the way, overthrowing Owens on the left sideline, and Bernard Wilson was there.
Boy, he's amazing the way he gets rid of the football. There's a lot of pressure coming inside, and it's been that way many times during the course of the afternoon, but in spite of that, he releases the ball. That's why I think his passing percentage is not as high as a lot of other people in the league. He's not going to eat the ball. He's going to throw it, and even if it falls incomplete, he's not going to give it to the other team, and that's why he has not been intercepted and doesn't have a high passing percentage.
Doug Williams is 19 of 44, 243 yards, 3 interceptions. Certainly the toughest day he's had in 1981. Third down, 15, 25 seconds left. Somebody jumped. Gordon Jones did a little dance, and Herm Edwards says they're going to call it back. You don't waste any energy if you're a cornerback.
That time it looked like there was too much time. Delay of game, it looked like.
Delay of game, number 12, offense, third down.
Did you ever have a wet ball drill with your team? Did you ever stick the ball in a water bucket or anything and make them throw it around in case they'd get into a rain like this?
Yeah, we did that in Kansas City because we had a lot of bad days, and so we did that. Really, we really did. Put it in the bucket, put a few of them in the bucket, make sure they handle them during the course of practice sessions to get used to a slippery ball.
So they don't get a lot of rain down in Tampa Bay, you know, so they probably don't know what the rain feels like on the ball.
No, that's right. They got to throw it in the ocean to get it wet there.
Williams Back, 3rd and long. Going for the corner, and House has nowhere to go with it. Rournell Young has been a shadow for Kevin House this afternoon. McKay and Boyd Dowler sitting in those plays. Billy Nelson's upstairs. Boy, this last 45 seconds has been an eternity. Still 18 on the clock.
In this situation, Tom, it's very hard to just run by anybody because you don't have that much room. The field is an ally for the defense, but some kind of a double move could be very effective. Some kind of an inside-out move, you might have a chance.
4th down and 20, the last shot. And Doug Waits, in chase, gets away, is still on his feet, and finally pulled out in front as Claude Humphrey gets the sack along with Jerry Robinson. He stayed on his feet about as long as you could. Number 12, David Everson.
There we see him again, leaning back, going back into the pocket, and you see the defensive end coming through there and getting good pressure, Dennis Harrison. But in spite of that, he bounces away, is in hot pursuit by Humphrey, it looked like, 87. Then he's hit there by Jerry Robinson, 56. And that's it for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Doug Williams was a wanted man. That just about cinched it. The Eagles just want to keep the ball. Remember, the Bucs scored on the opening drive in the first quarter and got nothing but a field goal after that. What a defensive job by the Eagle defense. Executive producer is Terry O'Neill. Senior producer, Charles H. Milton III. Produced by Robert Stinner. Good to see you again, Bobby.
On home.